It has been nothing short of a logistical nightmare to get the oil spill under control. Still, the Tobago Emergency Management Agency, TEMA, believes they are at a point where it is under control. Director of TEMA Allan Stewart provided an update on the logistics behind this massive disaster response.
Coordinating the response efforts to an oil spill disaster of the magnitude currently being experienced in Tobago has been challenging for authorities. According to Director Allan Stewart, the Tobago Emergency Management Agency, TEMA, was only prepared to deal with smaller oil-related incidents.
The Tobago House of Assembly contingency plan as it relates to oil spills speaks to a level 1 tier, meaning therefore there are certain assets that we are expected to have.
It was eventually elevated to a Tier 2 disaster. Only 1,600 feet of oil booms were soaked on the island. They were deployed around Scarborough Port on Thursday night, but more needed to be sourced from Trinidad.
But the confession should be that, logistical nightmare in moving Trinidad to Tobago.
The majority of the requested equipment did eventually make it to Tobago, and it is one of the gaps that Stewart expects will be highlighted during an assessment of the response efforts. Additionally, more oil booms were deployed around Petitrew Mangrove and the Gulf Stream wreck, but some of the booms broke due to the rough seas and strong currents. The anchors designed for the booms were intended to rest on sandy sea floors, not coral beds. Stewart explained that the experts had to change their strategy accordingly.
We had a rough seas where the energy of those of the current was really acting against it, and we were able to. We had MP. We also had a number. We got assets from the Division of Marine Affairs.
Anchors originally intended for set nets, which were stored on Tadco's compound, were commandeered and are now being used to anchor the oil booms. Meanwhile, the public is already witnessing the clearing of the oil-like substance from the beaches, particularly at Rockley Bay in Scarborough. This exercise involved a combination of experts and volunteers, and it is also a challenging process.
How much sand do you remove from the beach?
Yes.
Or when do you stop? Things like that. If you're to remove it, if you're to scoop off in the first instance, removing the tar-like matter of hydrocarbons, how do you transport it to a safe burial place?
In the meantime, Stewart warned that the sustained response efforts will continue for at least another 3 weeks.
It's going to be very costly, and it's going to demand the type of gear and equipment that we don't necessarily have here on the island. And therefore, there are logistics concerns, and you have to think about where people will sleep, how they will eat, things like that.
All the while, work is ongoing to identify the origins and ownership of the vessel. Stewart is confident that the information will soon come to light. Candace Jackson, Tobago Updates, Television News.